Are you, like me, increasingly disappointed every year with the video game awards? Tired of the pointless celebrity appearances? Really only tuning in to see whatever world premieres they may have that year? Well, have I got the solution for you. With my first ever and very own Most Extravagant Gaming Award Show. Or the Megas for short. There are no world premieres, an incredibly small amount of games nominated, and most importantly, no esports awards. As always, I, Herman Frisbee, am your handsome, wise, and wildly unqualified host for the awards this year, and every year in perpetuity until the inevitable heat death of the universe. Now, to those uninitiated on how I do these sorts of things, I categorize things by the year I, yours truly, played them, not by their respective release year. Meaning that there are games nominated tonight that came out in 2018, and there are other games that have been nominated that were released all the way back in the year 2000, back when I was just a young pup. Why do I do it this way? Well, honestly, it's one of the only ways I can guarantee I'm not going to be talking about the exact same games as everyone else in these dumb award shows. But also, if I limited to just the games that were released in 2018, well, I'd only be talking about 9 games. But that's enough of my excessive meandering. There are awards to be given out. There won't be any filler in this award show, no sir. We'll just be jumping award to award, no time for nominees, or as I like to call them, losers. Let's start this party right with the award I'm calling Best NPC I'd Like to Take Home. And oh boy, were there ever a lot of options for this one, ladies and gentlemen. However, in my mind, there was a clear winner the moment this award was announced. I'm sure one is coming to your puny mind too. But there's only one answer that matters, and it's mine. The winner is Dusty the Cat from Gravity Rush 2. I mean, look at this perfect specimen. Who wouldn't want to own this beautiful feline? At face value, Dusty might appear like nothing more than a starry night sky taken cat form, which, trust me, that alone would have gotten him the victory here. But on top of all that, Dusty is the one who granted Cat her gravity-shifting abilities. Now, who wouldn't want those kinds of powers, along with a fancy space cat? So congratulations, Dusty, on being the first winner of the greatest award show on planet Earth. Moving right along to an award a little more straightforward for you simpletons out there. I can't be keeping them too high concept. You might end up shutting off this program. And I can't have that now, can I? Best Sequel. Now, this isn't just as simple as the best game that came out that is also a sequel. That's too simple. It's the game that adds the most to the original installment, making it vastly superior to its predecessor. Of course, that being said, in this case, no matter which way you interpret it, it'd be going to the same game. The award for Best Sequel goes to none other than Sony Santa Monica's Dad of Boy. I mean, God of War. Sorry, but whether you could compare this new God of War to God of War 3 or God of War Ascension, which would be the most recent game in the franchise before this newest installment, 2018's Crazy Lake Stories with Mimir improves upon each of the formulas in every possible definition of the word. Improved graphics, art direction, voice acting, sound, gameplay, storytelling. The list of upgrades are seemingly endless. If a sequel to this game can improve as much as this game did to the prior games, then I think we might be looking at a cure for world hunger. We've all at some point been playing a game and it's closing in on time to go to bed, or go to work, or attend a social gathering that you really didn't want to show up to in the first place, and you say to yourself, okay, just 5 more minutes, and then I'll move. I promise. And then you say it again, and again, and again, and slowly your life falls apart around you. Isn't it great? So, if it wasn't clear enough, this is the Just 5 More Minutes award. There are more than a handful of games that I lost more time to than I'm willing to admit, but due to the design of this one game, there is one that has a bit of an advantage in this regard. And, much like life itself, when you start with a silver spoon in your mouth, you win the awards. Now, even though I haven't actually sat down with this game in several months, I really should get back to it. There's no mistaking that I lost more time to Monster Hunter World. Thank you, Nergigante. To anyone familiar with this game, the hunt-based nature of it had you always saying, oh, I've got just enough time to smash in Anjanath's skull again. And so you do. Over and over again until you've draped yourself from head to toe in his skin and look like a Jurassic Park extra. Now, almost the reverse of that award is the poorly named but also incredibly on-the-nose award of Game I would likely give a real award to if I had actually played enough of it award. In the run of a year, I end up playing a lot of games, and for one reason or another, I don't end up beating all of them, or putting more than a few hours into them in some cases. Be it due to something new that I was excited for being released, or I got busy and just forgot about it. I don't know. Get off my back! However, in this case, it was as simple as I don't own the game, or the console it's on, so I had only sat with the game once. But that was all it took for me to adore what I had experienced. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is my winner. There is nothing I can say about this game that hasn't already been said 100 times by everyone you know. However, they're not me. So, do their words really matter? It's no secret that Breath of the Wild is the next step in open world games, and clearly will be what many games come to use as a base for how to tackle the genre. It's somehow tense, yet relaxing, funny, yet also sad. It's both incredibly simple, and yet some of the deepest mechanics I've ever seen. It's a true achievement in game development. Sadly, I had only sat down with the game for 7 or 8 hours. While that might sound like a lot of time, as it's longer than some other games I've played this year, you're barely scratching the surface of Breath of the Wild in that time. With that, I thought it unfair to judge the product as a whole, and yet desperately wanted to give this game some sort of recognition, and thus the creation of this award. So a round of applause for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the only game to be sponsored by the color blue. Something every player has experienced is putting a game down and not returning to it for possibly months, only to eventually pick it up again and think, what? Don't remember the plot, what the last thing you did was, and most consequential of all, forgetting how to play entirely. This is the hardest game to pick up again award. Something that, while named an award, in actuality is more of a warning. If you, like me, have exquisite taste, then you must be a fan of Digimon, and by extension, Digimon World Next Order. A fantastic game for fans of the franchise, and maybe less than that if you're not. When I first sat down with this game, I invested a great deal of time into it. However, as it tends to, life happened, and I didn't pick this game up for quite some time. Now, when I eventually get back to it, did I forget the plot? Check. Did I forget what I had just done? Check. Did I forget my character's name, or even if I had one? Double check. Most importantly of all, I didn't remember how to play. I mean, look at this menu. What is this? What do you do? Who are you? Why are you looking at me? Ah! Anyways, if you find yourself playing and enjoying Digimon World Next Order, please do yourself a favor and do not put this game down until you've finished it. It'll be easier for everyone involved. We live in a time where there are just so many games coming out that it's downright impossible to play all of them. Unless, of course, you're like me and you've mastered the art of time travel. But even still, titles do occasionally slip past me, as hard as that may be to believe. This is the Finally Got Around to It award. I've heard people mention this game on and off since its release, all the way back in 2002. I had no way to play this game. It wasn't until 2018 when my girlfriend was interested in sitting me down with the game. The award winner for Best Game I Finally Got Around to Playing award is none other than Eternal Darkness. There is a reason that despite no sequels or even spiritual successors, at least none that I'm aware of other than that big one that fell through a few years back, but that's a story for another time, that people to this day, closing in on a whole 17 years later, still talk about it. That reason, simply put, it's great. Interesting characters, a really unique and interesting magic system, and one of the only games to do actual sanity effects and do them well. It's a game that undoubtedly deserves a place in the history books. Now that I've finally experienced the game for myself, it's time for me to put those shoes on the other foot and preach the good word of Eternal Darkness. So please, if you have not played this game, and it seems something that you might be interested in, do yourself, and most importantly me, a favor, and play Eternal Darkness. Many times, villains are just pure evil incarnate. People who would stop at absolutely nothing to accomplish their goals. Other times, not so much. Some villains would probably settle down if someone were to boldly step forward and give them a hug. And thus, we have our 2018 Villain in Most Need of a Hug Award. For this award, after careful deliberation, we actually have on our hands our first and only tie for the night. First up, we have this cute little fella, Ripto. Sure, this guy is a tiny ball of anger, but other than a deep, deep hate for all things dragon, I think this guy just really needs a friend. So who better to give out this awarded hug than a dragon?
No! You despicable little creature! I'll kill you!
What a wuss.
The other winner of this prestigious award is, well, much less little than our first winner, but no less deserving. Now, I would like our audience here with us today to please look away from the stage, and for the convenience of our home viewer, we're going to be cutting off our video feed temporarily and exclusively broadcasting the audio. Now please give a warm round of applause for our second award winner, all the way from somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, the sleeper of Relay and my good friend, Cthulhu. For centuries, mankind and many other races have tried everything they could to either appease or to hinder this great old one. And not once did anyone think to ask what he wants. A hug. So, come here, my friend. Oh God.
Oh, guys, I really screwed up. I don't know what I was thinking to race Cthulhu. It was such a dumb idea. I really screwed up. But I need to make this video to promise you that I have a top 10 gaming and a top 10 movies of 2018 video coming. I'm working on them any chance I get, but it's the whole apocalypse going on. It's really hard to find a computer with a stable internet connection. Who knew, right? Anyway, I think I can hear them coming. I gotta get out of here. I hope this video finds you. Good luck.